everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a fun project for you today. Let's take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this great? First of all, love this fabric, but this is our block right here, and we are going to make this quilt quick and easy, so much fun, with a little surprise at the end. So to make this quilt, what you're going to need is 2 packs of 5-inch squares, and we've used Blue Carolina for Riley Blake. This is by Christopher Thompson. He's also known as the Tattooed Quilter. He's just a great guy, and of course I love blue and white. Now you're going to need 4 fabrics of the same kind to make the block that we're making. So this one has duplicates in it, so look for one that has duplicates. You're also going to need 2 yards of background fabric. This is the white, and that includes this inner border, and this outer border is a 5-inch border, and you're going to need 1 yard of fabric for that. You're going to need 4 yards, and this is the backing we've used. Isn't that beautiful? I know 4 yards seems like a lot, and I get asked a lot of backing questions, but you have to go by the width of the quilt, and our quilt is 61, so 2 yards is 72, but it's only 40 inches wide, so you have to add another piece because we've horizontally pieced it. So 4 yards is what you need for the back of this. So let me show you how to make this, because this is really fun. First of all, you're going to select 4 charms that are the same, and we have to cut them in different ways. So what we're going to do is I'm going to line up 2 charms like this, and I'm going to cut 2 of those in half. So let's just use this little ruler right here. We're going to cut these right in half because you need 4 bars like this. And one of our squares is going to be 4 2.5-inch squares. So we're going to cut this one like this. And then our center square over here is 4.5 inches. So we need to cut it down. So I'm going to lay my ruler here on the 4.5 right there. And I'm just going to trim these 2 sides like this. Now you also need some white fabric for this, and you're going to need some 2.5-inch squares, and you're going to need some 4.5-inch squares right here. So we're going to take our 2.5-inch squares, and we are going to sew them to our color 2.5-inch squares like this. So 4 of those, we're going to count out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go to the sewing machine, and we're going to attach these 2 together. And it doesn't matter which side you put them on. Just run them through. Go ahead and chain piece them. And I'm just going to start right here. I've got my color on the bottom, the white on the top. That's not going to really matter. All right. So we're going to press these open. And I'm gonna put my dark sides to the top, seam at the top, and then I can just roll them back. I'm gonna set all my seams this way, and then just press them back, and press them back, and press them back, and one more. Oh, look how cute that one's centered up. The design is right in the center. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach these to each one of these gets attached to a bar. And this you want to make sure goes the same direction. Now, when we sew our seam here, these become 4.5. So we need to cut a little 1/2 inch off the bottom of our blocks here. So they're going to be a 4.5 by 2.5 inch rectangle. And I'm just going to stack those right there and cut a little 1/2 inch off the bottom. You can actually sew them on and trim them off after you get them sewn. Either way will work. And we're going to put these together. Now, when you go to the sewing machine, you want to make sure this is always the same. So you want to make sure this color is always at the top, and you lay this one on top of it. So, you know, sometimes things matter, sometimes they don't. Usually I go through and just sew them up to see what's going to happen, and that was something I learned rather quickly. So we're going to go ahead and chain piece these. So there's one. And let me grab these. Make sure your seam lays to the dark. We don't have to line up any seams when we're doing this. And last one right here. I can't believe how centered up that little bouquet of flowers is. That is really cute. All right, now let's go press these open. And here we go. We got four little ones there. And now we get to put our block together. Now this is the block we're working on right here. It looks like this. It's got 4 corners, so it's basically a 9 patch. And these are our little corner blocks. And what you want to remember on these is that this white block goes to the center on all 4 sides. So here's our center block. Here's our corners, and then we're going to take our white 4.5-inch block and set it right in the spaces that are left. So just like this. So we're going to sew these together in rows of 3. So let's go over here to the sewing machine and we'll just pick it up a row at a time. And make sure, there we go. Just lining everything up. Oh, this goes on the other side. I was like, wait, what do I sew this to? I'm so used to chain piecing. So when you put these together, again, make sure the white touches the white. And there's our first row. The center row is just these 3 big squares sewn together. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to flip this around, open it up, make sure my color stays in the middle, and sew this one on the other side. That's our center row. And let's go to the 3rd row here. And don't forget again, the white goes to the center. You know, I have to do these little mantras because I get so mixed up. So I have to make sure that I have these little mantras. It's like white to the center, white to the white. Just to make sure that, otherwise I get turned around. And then once I make a block, I literally sit that block right here and look at it every step of the way. All right, now we're going to sew these 3 rows together like this. And you just have to match up at your seam lines. So make your seams go the way you want them to. I did not press in between. I probably should have, but I'm going to make my inner seam go in and my colored seam go toward the colored and the white go to the white. And we'll add that last row. Again, making sure my whites are to the inside. And I'm going to make sure this is tucked under there. Sometimes I get in a hurry and I just forget to iron. It is always better to iron each piece. I just want to say that right now. It's always better. So we're heading over here. Oh, that looks pretty good. So I'm pressing down this top now. I'm going to flip it over, make my seams go the way I want them to. So I want this one to go up, and these to go out, and the center one to go in, and these to go out. Give that a little shot of steam. All righty. So this is our block right here. How fast was that? Isn't that fun? So now when we sew them together, we're just going to sew them together in rows like this. And we're just going to butt them right up next to each other. That's what makes this little secondary block down here. So we're going to put this here, and we're just going to butt them together in rows like this. Now let's look at our quilt. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So 4 by 4, and it makes this. And this is your little secondary block right here. So this is the secondary block that you get right here, and the secondary block is what happens when you put the blocks together. It's the new pattern that appears, and I think this is a pretty cool secondary block. So I made this quilt, And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing this block right here. And it's got such nice, big, wide open spaces. And I got thinking, what happens if I cut this up? What happens if I cut this up? So I had a whole bunch of scrappy pieces left over. I didn't have 4 of the same. I just had scraps. So I made another block like this. It's all the leftover pieces that I didn't have, I didn't have 4 whole ones of. So I just made a block like this. And I cut it up. Let me show you what happens. This is so cool. So I put my ruler on here, and I'm going to come in 2 1/4. Let me measure this. No, oh, good. I'm glad I stopped, because this is a 4 1/2 inch block, which is going to, when you lose your 1/4 inch seam, it's going to be 4, a total of 4. So we're going to come 2 inches. You have to half that when you're cutting it in half. 2 inches from the side seam, and we're going to cut it right down the middle. So honestly, you can just check your middle, make a cut, check your middle right here, and make a cut. We're cutting it directly in half. And look how cute this is. Look at this block. How fun is that? Just from cutting it up. So then you're going to take these, and I just turn 2 opposite corners to the middle like this. Look how cute that is. Isn't that darling? So of course I took all my leftovers and I made another quilt. Take a look at this. Isn't this fun? Look how cute this is. It's so great. It's so much fun. I just love this fabric. I got to spend some time with Christopher when he was here at Missouri Star Academy. He's also known as the Tattooed Quilter, and it was just great getting to know him. One of the things I want to mention is that on some of his fabric, you can see right here, he has a little French bulldog, and he does the little bulldog motif on his fabric. It's just so cute. So we're calling this the Grand Square right here. This is the Grand Square. And this one is called Do-Si-Do because we just moved it around. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.